So, hello guys to Trading the Trades YouTube. I do appreciate you tuning in. Okay. I kind of want to talk to you guys about a setup that I had on Friday's trading session. I wanted to make a trade review video. It's been a while. I've done one, and but Friday's trading session was very good, and I think I also did a pretty good job in kind of documenting during this trading session, explaining my trades. But there is one trade I didn't document because my microphone was muted just when I came back from my break, which I think has a lot of value in it. So I'm gonna break this down for you guys today. And it also kind of has a lot of cool things into it. And so I just wanna talk you guys through it. I've noticed it yesterday when I kind of reviewed my own session. So first and foremost, what we wanna see here, like for context, we always want to look at context here as well. So we kind of broke here, and then we kind of had this range established here between 50 and 47, I guess. And yeah, then we just fell through it, and now we're coming back to the bottom of this previous range, I guess, which is also like a point of on all the time frames of confluence. Okay, so we have a pretty high node here on the weekly, monthly. Then we have like a low node on the daily. Okay, so a lot of confluence points here. We have, yeah. So that's why I kind of like this level in general. Okay, but we want to see how it interacts. Also, we can think that we might be establishing a new range here. Why? Because we keep on if you look at the auction vista, we keep on not going in a fluid way. We keep on tagging the same prices a lot, okay? So if we do keep on if the auction vista kind of looks like this and we keep on hitting the same prices a couple of times, so this means like there's a pretty good balance of buyers and sellers in my opinion, okay? So they are pretty balanced and pretty much agreeing to what the price is worth because they keep on selling back and forth the same price level. I guess if that makes any sense to you. And so if they are agreeing, I think it's more likely to build a range because if buyers and sellers agree on the same price, what happens is we're gonna be getting into a range because they agree. Like there's not like, okay, yeah, we wanna buy this higher because this is worth more or this is worth less. Sell it lower, I guess. So now we're kind of agreeing, like buyers and sellers are agreeing. So that's why we kind of, I think, like setting up for a range here. So then we want to look where this is. So this is pretty much telling me, okay, we're probably getting into a range here. So we kind of want to look at this. We kind of see like there's kind of yeah, basically a seller protecting the 46 50s, 46 75s here, I guess. Kind of protecting this. And we already earlier saw as a buyer kind of protect the 44 50s, 44 25s, 44s here. So I'm thinking right now, okay, I just came back as well, so I kind of reset my footprint. I just had a quick look on the auction vista, like looking at everything, I guess. So right now I think I'm really like looking at everything and just trying to build myself a little bit of context here. Yeah. So now I'm really looking at it and I see it just puke here. Just came back though from my break, so I don't just want to hump right in. Thinking here, maybe like I'm kind of thinking here, shorting it up here, I guess, because I have my mouse there, but I want to be patient because I just came back from my break and we had all this volume up here, so I'm not shorting right into something when I do come back, or at least I try to. Now we're picking up really speed here into the low. So we're at the 44s here, and now we just like keep on tagging it really, okay? So we keep on tagging the 44s, which kind of indicates to me that this kind of wants to puke at some point. We're getting back down there again. Like now we are bottom ticking it into the 44s. But this is not a bottom tick, okay? Like for me personally, how I use top and bottom ticks is if I need to see a complete auction. So once we get to the low, I want to see a fast rejection of it and price really kind of not look back, okay? Like once we break a price that's been tagged like this many times, bam, 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 okay? Like this is the low of the small range that started to build. And we kind of saw it like bam, 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 hit it, okay? And then it breaks. If it wants to go up, like it kind of needs to reverse back up or just completely follow through, I guess. Fall through. But this is a sign that there's some more room to the downside in it, in my opinion. Now we kind of see it come up, but again, like it's struggling, like it keeps on tagging the 44s here. There's obviously some buyers interested here. You kind of can see that, obviously. So the bid is kind of holding here. But you kind of want to see this just, okay, like if you want to take this higher, this kind of needs to puke for me. So that's why I'm not entering here. So now we are back at the mean of this range here. So at the middle of this range. We're going through the mean here. We're kind of building volume here, but that's fine. Like you expect in the middle, you expect like kind of some volume in the middle of a range, obviously, because like we said, I do expect this to be a range. And if it's a range, like in the middle, there should be like a lot of transactions because that's the fairest price there. You want to see a lot of people agree upon, okay? So there you want to see a lot of back and forth action basically between buyers and sellers, which we do see. So this is very much looking like a range. And now we're getting to the top of the range. Now though, like I said, I do still have this 44s here in mind, because I think if this wants to go higher, this would be, if it does go higher, this would be kind of a big break in my opinion, because if this does go higher, it would go back into towards the mean of this range, so towards the 49s, I guess, somewhere here. So back to the mean of this range, and this kind of indicates that it really wants to go higher and break out. So a break out of this small range, if you understand the higher time frame is a little bit, so a break out of this range here that we're building here will kind of bring the price probably back into this range, into the mean of this range, which then again obviously could just mid-pivot it as well, but then again it kind of is more likely to get a real breakout. So, and this was just possibly a liquidity grab below here, below these stops. So, and then if I do want to see something like this, again, this is context, everything is context. Like if something like this happens, in my personal opinion, like before something like this happens, it needs to blow out a bottom like this, okay? Like something like this, a big move like this, in my opinion, more often than not, it's all possibilities, more often than not, it needs, before it can get a big move, it needs to blow out bottom tick and just blow out a bunch of stops in bottom tick before it can reverse in a bigger picture, okay? Like I'm not trusting this to be able to break out to the top set before we break the 44s, okay? At least to a tick. If it breaks but 1 or 2 ticks and then we see a complete auction and it shoots back up, then I'm trusting it. Then I could take it long. But for my system, for my style, for my belief, how I see the market, this is more likely than not breaking hard to the top set before it grabbed the liquidity below 44s. So let's rewind this here. So now we are at the highs again. So at this low node high, we saw a kind of rejected hard there. So the bid is, especially the bid's not really strong. If it does want to break here, like you should see a strong bid. Like even if there's selling present, you should see limit buyers, okay, which kind of absorb it here. But they're not. Like there are some people market buying, but nobody's really willing to absorb the limit side. And if you kind of need both, okay, you need limit buying, you need strong limit buying, and you need market buying. Ooh, and what happened here is interesting. Like, let's rewind this real quick, okay? Like here we saw it, the break, so the 46.75s. So we kind of saw absorption earlier in the 46.50s. Then we saw it clear the 46.51s, trade some contracts into 46.75s here. Now we see it clear the 46.50 offer again. So it cleared the offer again. And nobody's here hitting into the 46.75 twice. Like you saw this, like it cleared the offer at 46.50 twice, and no single person hit into the offer at 46.75s here. And we don't see any bid here. So again, we are again at the high. It's ready to be hit. The liquidity is there. 73 contracts are sitting there. Nobody's willing to lift the offer here and go here. And if you look on the other side, on the limit side here, nobody's really like see how they are pulling off the bid. Like nobody's really like, there's no bid present here at the highs. And if this wants to break, there should be a bid present here. They should be able to refill here, reload here. If they want to take this higher, they want to reload here, and they want to keep on hitting into lifting the offer. Okay, basically just buying here the spread, but nobody's buying, especially no big people are buying, and you don't see like any limit buying as well. Oh, now we even see a 1/0. Okay, now only one contract traded here, and it immediately went here again, and then cleared. Like again, just one contract on the back tick, so only one contract into the offer, and it just falls through. Very weak bid at here, and yeah, pretty aggressive selling as well. So that's why I entered short here. Okay. Then just right after I entered, we do see buyers come in a little bit. So at this point, I think I'm getting a little bit, maybe I was wrong after all. So I kind of move my mouse here just to be able to get out if I'm wrong fast. Because now I've kind of lost a little bit of faith, I guess, in this trade. But I'm still gonna give it a shot, I guess. Because I think it should maybe at least go back to the mean here. We see a lot of volume transact here. But good thing for me is that it's kind of really rejecting the 46.75s. And like I said, it's with context. Like I do expect it. If this is breaking, especially now that the bid wasn't so strong, like this could break to the top set without grabbing the liquidity below here as well. But in my personal opinion, if this is a breakout, this is gonna be a big breakout. And if it does break out big, it needs to grab the liquidity below here first. So now we are falling back into the mean here. But see how if this goes here and then just rejects off it hard with a complete auction here. If you don't know what a complete auction is, watch my market theory video on scalping the dawn, part 5 of my series. I mean, it doesn't, like it trades volume into the mean. So at this point I think, okay, this is more likely than not, obviously you never know, this is more likely than not going to the bottom. And if it does go to the bottom again, I do expect it to break the 44s, at least for a tick. I don't know how far it goes, okay? Like, obviously it could just blow out to the bottom, but again, we're still in kind of range, okay? We just started building this range. And so it could just bottom tick it and reverse me, so I don't want to be stuck then. But I kind of have just my standard take profit set down here, and just in case it completely pukes. So now we're trading through the middle, okay? So that's the point where I kind of pull my stop in. Why? Because we traded through the middle of the mean, okay? Like, if you consider this the mean of this range here, I guess, like 45.25s here is the middle. And we traded all the way into 45s, okay? Like, so we traded one tick below this mean, I guess. And we also don't pivot it hard, okay? And we trade volume here. So at this point, I think this low node here of this micro curve here, I guess you can call it. So this two low nodes here should hold, in my opinion. Like, this should hold here and then probably come lower. Or I'm wrong. If it comes up again, like, this might just top tick, break out completely. So I just move my stop to break even at this point, because it should hold, if I'm right on the trade. Now we're getting into the low. Now things are getting interesting. Watching it closely here. Thinking about, like, my mouse is here. I'm thinking about maybe pulling it off here if we don't see a break here, but I'm still fine, trying to be patient here. Now I'm moving my stop slightly in profit, just at the top of this mean, I guess, because now the couple times, like, you see that those tick channel auction mistake, the couple times tried this low node in the 45s, okay? So at this point, this should break. If this doesn't break here, then we have same process here, that the top ticks at 45s, which kind of catapult this to the mean back, and then probably at least to the high of this curve, and probably to the top of the range. So at this point, I'm moving my stop in a bit, just to lock in some profit. So here we're now at the 44s. Now that's where things get really interesting. Like, we want to watch this closely. Now we do see it tick below. Now we do see the 43.25s being hit. So that's kind of my target on this trade. That's where I think, okay, here anything can happen. Here it can either just fall out completely, or on the other hand, it could just see a complete auction and just shoot back up and revert at least to the mean, maybe even to the top of the range. So what are we seeing? We're seeing it kind of shoot up fast, okay? So we're seeing it go up fast here. Only 25s contracts traded into the low, so not a lot of contracts. Not a lot of time spent here either, just a short 25 contract, immediately found size, immediately found buyer, immediately shot back up, okay? So at this point I think, okay, this doesn't look like it wants to break out. Same like earlier, if we would saw it, the 33.75s, like, trade a bit volume into it, I would be more willing to hold this, I guess. But just having it trade pretty much one time with 25 contract and then shoot up, like, that's the point where I think, okay, this doesn't look like it wants to break low. So I want to pull this trade. Obviously, I don't want to pull it on the snapback, because you do expect it to, if it just snaps back to it, at least I do have some profit locked in here, but I do expect it to maybe, like, 44 was the crucial number earlier, so I put my take profit one tick above 44.25, because I do think, like, it should fill me on there, and we do tick below to the 44s, I guess, so the 44.25s got filled. Yeah. Now I don't really know what happens next. Now, yeah, we kind of took it another time. So you could say, like, okay, now we tested it twice, I guess. So might be in for another shoot lower at some point. But this was not that amount of volume that's traded into it. And yeah, also it's kind of, if you compare it to earlier, like the 44s from earlier, like this is just way the rejection of it is just way harder. Like it depends how hard it pivots at some point. And the way it pivoted twice here, like this kind of tells me this wants to go at least back to the mean, to the 44.550s, or maybe all the way up to the high of this range. Yeah, pretty much that's the trade I wanted to break down with you. I don't have like anything better to do right now, so let's keep on watching this for a second. What happens if we can spot something? But I do expect this to come back to 45.50s here. Yeah, it blasts through it. So it blasted through the mean here. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, pullbacks to 45s here should be met by buyers, and it should come all the way up to the top of this range, I guess. We don't even really see a pullback. I know, kinda. We see a pullback. Can we get it all the way to 45s here? Not really. 45s, 25s, all we got. Now we do see some interesting, like, there's a seller now at 46s here, really absorbing the 46s here. 46.25s. Yeah, there's a seller like really, absorbing the 46.25s. Remember earlier there was a seller at 46.50s who really absorbed the 46.50s, and he seems to have moved down now to 46.25. That's also something you kind of want to pay attention to. I didn't notice this during the stream here or during the session. Ooh, now even a top tick of this macro range here. At this point, I didn't notice it during the trading session here, but that's why reviewing your trades is important in your sessions. Like this point, this is a very, very good short in my opinion. Like this is a very high EV short here. Like we had earlier this, obviously again with context, we had earlier this big seller protecting the 46.75s, 46.50s. Now he's kind of protecting one tick lower, the 36.25s. Now we see a top tick, like we see it tick the 46.50s. Only one contract traded, so a complete auction here. Immediately found fast selling here, hard selling. Now even a lot of volume into the low. Like compare this volume, like here. Now even though we're getting lower, we're getting more volume into it, sold into the bid. And the bid's not strong anyways, like we know that. The bid's not strong up here. Just out of context, we know that. So lots of selling into the bid, aggressive selling. Now this really looks very bearish here. Let's see. Now I'm curious. Like you can turn off the video if you like. Like the trade breakdown is done. Not taking a trade here, but I wasn't observing this during the stream, and now I just do now, and like I think it's very interesting here. Ooh, now he's kind of defending the 46s or the 45.75. That's interesting here. So the same seller, like that's probably the same guy. Like not sure, but someone's really defending here. So earlier we had like someone, if you see this happening, this again doesn't mean like price is going down. It just means, in my opinion, like take everything with a grain of salt. But if you see this, like earlier someone defending here, then you see him defending one tick lower. Okay, like he defended earlier the 46.50s. Now he moved lower, he defended the 46.25s. Now he kind of seems like starts to defending the 46s, okay? So if you see this happening in real time, like it can mean one of two things. Either like there's just one big seller, or like obviously a lot of big sellers that are really willing to fill a big position. So if this goes then lower, like you kind of want to look for at least not just my little scalper's profit, or just like give it like at least 4, 5, 6 points, okay? Because if you see someone accumulate that much of a position, Like usually they want to take it a couple points, okay, no, not just a couple ticks, or not just within the range. So if this breaks to the bottom now, I do expect it to kind of break really a little bit lower here. Don't know where obviously, but I kind of see this like going at least below this pivot. Okay. I think like now I kind of remember like we were going in at this point. Like I think if I remember the day right, we were going here to the 37th then, and this was all the way like setting up here. Okay, like that's so fascinating about the market. Like this move. Like now I remember like we were going like from here I think into the 37th, and if you paid close attention, like this thing was setting up here. Okay, like you had this seller moving down his sell block basically, okay, along the way, okay. But always remember one thing, like just because you see a big seller moving down his absorption doesn't mean that price is going down. It can also mean quite the opposite, okay, like because a lot of people are gonna join this big seller, okay, and the thing is, like a lot of people see this, a lot of people are joining him. And what happens if he's no longer there? Or if he starts to finally be happy and maybe reverse his position and unload his profits? Or if he kind of just needs someone, if his wife calls him, he needs to get off the trading desk, whatever it may be, okay? Like, if he's gone, like, and the other people want to take the market higher, then you have a lot of stops, okay, sitting just above all his absorptions. So he absorbed 46s, so you probably have a lot of stops up here. Then he absorbed earlier the 46.25, so you have a lot of stops up here. Earlier he absorbed the 46.75s or 50s, so you have a lot of stops up here. And all these market stops could get stop run. And here, I think on this day, you had the daily mean at around 49 or 50 up here somewhere. So this is also going to help bullish trading. So does this mean just because this big seller is moving his absorption or icebergs or whatever you want to call it down a tick all the time and is looking for this play lower, does he mean like he's right? No, like he can also be wrong. He can just be wrong. There can come an even bigger buyer that comes into the market and says no, like I've just got a phone call from a bank, like they want me to execute a 10,000 contracts right now, okay, and if he starts executing these contracts, the other sellers just is smaller and just will get blown out, and then all these subs get triggered, and this could also lead into a big move. So nothing is ever certain in the market, I guess, but just I'm just gonna keep watching this. So here we're gonna keep on observing this here, I guess. So now we said he moved the price to 46. This is here. Now he seems to move it even lower. Now he seems to kind of tries to absorb the 45s, 50s here. Like you see him like with a big offer always, like the big offers always chasing here. Like there are people buying it off of him, but he's just absorbing. Yeah, there's a big fish sitting here, willing to absorb all of it. And now he starts market selling. Now you see this people. Now you see all these people get liquidated. That bought here. All these people that bought into him, tried to bought the breakout, buy the bought in him, okay? Like they had their stops probably below here and it just completely got liquidated once he broke this lower. Now I do think this is in for a huge move lower. And it was in for a huge move lower. Like obviously some hindsight here right now, but so when I was looking at this setup right now here, like I mean think whatever you want to think of me, but when I was looking here, like just keep on observing that I was not like thinking about this or knowing that this is gonna happen right now. But anyways, I think then we ended up going like I don't remember, but I think we ended up we grabbed this liquidity here. I think it was like I'm not sure. Yeah. This is the day that this was the move, like the start of this move, like that took out and this liquidity below here. So that's kind of how I want to look at this. Okay, like I think that the second one is even like maybe even better than my breakdown. kind of annoys me right now that I didn't see it during the session. Like, this was a good trade to hold. Like, that's also like, if you see something like this happening, like a big seller moving down is a limit absorption basically, and just accumulating a big position. That's the trade you could be holding a little bit longer, because he also needs to get out of this position at some point again, and he can't get out just for a couple ticks because he needs liquidity. So he gonna go for some place where liquidity is sitting, which in this case was probably below this low here. Okay, like I think, because why? So this all plays together. Okay, you had a big seller accumulating. That's so fascinating. I love the market. Like, I just love it. Like, you had a big seller accumulating here. Okay, where he needs to get out. Like, he needs to get out somewhere where liquidity is sitting. Okay, where is liquidity sitting? Okay, he's selling. This means, as he's sold, that means he needs to buy his position back at some point. Okay, where probably, and if he wants to buy it back, he needs people to sell into him. Okay, if he wants to buy it back. So where is an obvious place? There are a lot of people probably have market buy stop orders that's gonna go back into him. Okay, what is a market buy stop order? Like, no, so sorry. He needs to buy his position back. So he needs to buy. So people need to sell to him. Sorry. So people need to sell to him. So they need sell stop orders. Okay. So basically, where is he looking at sell stop orders? Like, he's looking below a previous pivot swing. Okay. Why? Because a lot of people probably bought all the way up here somewhere. Okay, maybe here on the way up. Okay, and they bought. Okay, and so they have sell stop orders below this previous swing. Like, that's my thought process about the market. Just okay, like, most of people put stops at a place where it makes sense. So maybe around here. Okay, so maybe just below this pivot. Okay, on a 4,000 tick chart here. So maybe just below this pivot. There are a lot of buyers all the way here that have sell stop orders below here. Why? Because they think, okay, they're buying the market, and if it breaks this pivot, I'm wrong. So I have my sell stop orders set here. Okay, and what he does is he drove the market down here, and he then has his buy limit orders sitting here. So once let's see if this actually happened here. Like, once we get this break here of this pivot, I guess. So let's rewind this. Okay, so we're coming into this pivot here. And now he probably has all these limit buy orders here, because once we break this pivot, a lot of market buy orders gonna be triggered, and market sell orders are gonna be triggered. Small market sell orders are gonna be triggered, and he's gonna buying them all up. So here he's trying to feel a lot of people selling into him, and a lot of people are trying to join here, FOMO in here, like trying to kind of get the break, also maybe the breakdown of here. Okay, and then here you see him, like, you see a lot of volume being absorbed here. Okay, so here he's probably getting out. He probably got in around here. Okay, started to build his position, and then now he's trying to get out here, like limit buying, reloading here a bit. Okay, like getting out of his big position, getting out. Okay, then like price is going higher once again, like he's still like defending here, like he has his limit orders here. Okay, limit orders here, and now like there's also some market buying. Obviously that doesn't have to be the same guy, but just try to think about, like, that's also why this is a good setup, one of my playbook setups as well. To the other side, if we do break a previous swing, so if we do grab liquidity below a previous obvious point, if you do see absorption here, okay, and we then even see some strong buying, okay, now he kind of probably has, let's say, 80% of his position out. So now he even starts to take profit at market because he also sees buyers come in. So now he's probably trying to flatten the rest of his position. That in combination with new buyers that are coming in is then again driving the market higher. Okay, that's just my 2 cents on this, and I think then we rallied up. Okay, like obviously this is hindsight now. Okay, if you do rewatch my stream though, like I did, I mean this with the sellers, to be honest, like I didn't notice during the session and I wasn't aware of. I would have taken this trade obviously if I did notice it, but I just didn't. But here, this swing here, like this I did notice, and I did even say like, I should long here, I want to long here, that the big buying, like now you kind of want to long. I just didn't pull the trigger, like was bad from me, bad execution, I guess. I think I did try to get a long fill on a pullback, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I did try to get here on the pullback a long fill, which I think I didn't get by a tick. I did try to get the long fill here on the pullback, but that was just very unfortunate here. Because I thought like, okay, we had here the same principle. Okay, I think this is going higher, but you had this previous swings here, so I thought, okay, this is probably gonna get bottom ticked here, and then it reverses. So I wanted to, and I was very certain that it's going up, so I wanted to get in on this puke lower, okay, and I thought it might, because the range was a little bit bigger, so I thought the bottom ticks gonna be like 2 or 3 ticks, so I can get in here, but that was pretty much a greedy entry. So the bottom tick did happen, if you see here. Okay, so we did tick lower by a tick, but just by 1 tick, and then we immediately found strong buying off of it, and then we kept on rallying without me, unfortunately. So then we just rallied. So I was greedy with my entry. I wanted to get the perfect entry. Should have gotten in higher, but it is what it is. So I hope you liked and enjoyed today's video. I think there are some nuggets in it. Yeah, sorry for rambling on a bit and having it longer, but yeah, I just love trading. If you also love trading, I hope you enjoy the video. See you guys in the next one. Out.